Hebrews 10, and we're on the precipice of somewhere I was trying to head for 5 weeks now.
I've been looking at the scripture. You've been preaching on Hebrews.
I know it. Hebrews 10, we're just going to get a context for where we're going to head tonight. Hebrews 10, verse 37. He says, "For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come, and will not tarry." That is an encouraging verse right there, although it's not what you're thinking of. What he's referring to here is the second advent. We're looking for the rapture, but it's true of the rapture too. It won't be long. He'll be here. It's going to be real soon, I think. Verse 38. "Now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him." Oops, we're not in the church age. You can't draw back. You're in him. Nothing you can do about it. Too bad you're going to heaven whether you want to or not. Verse 39. "But we are not of them that draw back unto," who's that? The son of perdition. "Unto perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul." That is, someone can and does fall back after being enlightened. They fall back into perdition. You're in one of two places. You're in Christ Jesus or you're in the devil. And he's saying you can flip-flop. This is the type of faith that is the context for chapter 11. People don't realize that. They take chapter 11 and they make it church age. It's a different type of faith. Let's see. The main thing that you can notice about chapter 11 is this: when people talk about the faith chapter, is usually they go there to tell you that that's church age, and all these people believe just like we believe, and you can say, okay, well, how come they didn't use any New Testament examples? There's no Timothy or Titus, there's no Barnabas, there's no doubting Thomas, there's no Peter. How come they weren't used as examples? Didn't they have faith? I mean, that would have been a good one to use. Jesus says to Peter, "I pray for you that your faith fail not. When you're restored, strengthen your brethren." Well, that would have been a prime example. That's church age. But he doesn't use it here in chapter 11. There's a reason. Hebrews 10, look verse 26. "For if we sin willfully after that we've received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins, but a certain fearful looking for of judgment and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversaries. He that despised Jesus' commandments, the apostles' doctrine, no, Moses' law," taking you all the way back to the Old Testament, "without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses." I missed a word. "He that despised Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. Of how much sore punishment, suppose ye, shall he be thought worthy who hath trodden under foot the Son of God, and hath counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sanctified an unholy thing, and hath done despite unto the Spirit of grace? For we know him that hath said, Vengeance belongeth unto me, I will recompense, saith the Lord. And again, the Lord shall judge his people." That's fiery indignation for God's people. Where does that fit? It ain't our age. We're not appointed to wrath, but somebody is. Who's appointed to wrath? Hebrews, Jews. The time of Jacob's trouble will be a time of God's pouring out of wrath. Verse 36, Hebrews 10:36. "For ye have need of patience, that after you have done the will of God, you might receive the promise. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come and will not tarry." That is, you need to have patience because he's almost here. We're not being patient, we're being observant. He could be here at any minute. We're watching and waiting. However, they've got to be patient because he's coming for them, coming to the earth. He's coming to take us off of the earth. He's coming to join them on the earth. two different appearings. Hebrews 10, verse 38. Now the just shall live by faith. We saw that before. And he says in verse 39, we're not of them that draw back. So somebody is doing that. It'll be a fearful thing for a disobedient tribulation servant to fail to endure to the end. That's what his salvation is based on, enduring to the end. Well, if he doesn't endure, he doesn't get the promise. You know what the promise is? He that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. That's a promise. That's not just some theory. That's God's giving his word on it. If you'll do this, then this is what I'll do for you. Well, if they don't endure, they don't get the rest of it. Matthew 24. Matthew 24, verse 50. The Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour he's not aware of, and shall cut him asunder and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. That's hell. For servants, as in Israelites, Jews. He says they're not looking for him. That is, they're not patiently enduring. They're not patiently holding fast. Look at verse 29, next chapter over. Matthew 25, verse 29. For unto everyone that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. Sounds good. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. I don't want to be a replacement theology. Don't replace Israel. That's Israel's position. You don't know from day to day, and it's a constant struggle. How much sore punishment is how he said it. Suppose ye, if the Lord were to come back and find one of his servants has taken the mark of the beast. That wouldn't be good. Well, they could have served him and then all of a sudden had a bad day and decided to go get the mark. Revelation 14, verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine. This is a time you definitely don't want to be drinking wine. The wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. Now, I thought that sounded bad till he got the cup out. The cup is called indignation. And what's inside of it is a potion that's been brewing his anger and his wrath. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. No annihilation. They continue forever and ever. And they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Whew. Would be bad news for them. That would be a more sore punishment than Moses could administer. And it will happen. That servant obviously would lose his salvation, as we saw there in Matthew, and he would go to hell, as we saw in Matthew. Not a good position. In Matthew 25:41, he says this, then he shall say also unto them on his left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. Woo! This is all in context to the chapter on faith. Now, the reason this person is doing all of these things, is losing his salvation, is being condemned to hell, it's because he did not do works. He said of those that were good, he says, you fed me when I needed it. You came and visited me in prison. They come to him and they say, we didn't ever do that. What are you talking about? And he says, if you did it to one of the least of these, you've done it unto me. What's all that doing? That's works. The ones who didn't are these unprofitable servants. What their end is? Outer darkness. I don't want to live on a works-based salvation system, but somebody's going to in the tribulation. Won't be me. I don't think I'd make it. Luke chapter 18. Luke 18, verse 7. And shall not God avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? He's not talking about our kind of faith. He's talking about a kind of faith that's connected to works. It's the same type of faith we'll find in James. James says, your faith is no good if I can't see works from it. So he's saying the faith I'm talking about is a faith, it's a belief. It starts inside and works its way out. And if it's not worked its way out, there's no proof you ever had it. He's saying prove it from the outside. Different type than ours. We don't have to prove it from the outside. Somebody's already done that for us. Hebrews 10, verse 27. He says, but a fearful looking for of judgment and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversaries. These were his people. He's going to judge his people? Now he's calling them adversaries. Why are they adversaries? They're not doing the right works. That'd take out all Christianity by and large in our day and age. If he were to judge on that criteria. Matthew 13, verse 36. Matthew 13, 36. Then Jesus sent the multitude away and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. He answering said unto them, he that sowed the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom. These children of the kingdom. Those are Jews. The kingdom being the millennial reign, the kingdom of Christ. He says, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that sowed them is the devil, and the harvest is the end of the world. The reapers are the angels. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of the world, this world. He says, remember we read about adversaries? That was someone who was his servant and became his adversary by not doing the proper works and falling back into perdition. He's saying right here, they're going to be burned like a tare because they're on the wrong team. They're no longer wheat. Somebody lost it. Verse 30. Let both grow together till the harvest. In the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. Burning, that's fire. The way you burn something is you light it on fire. I know. You put a little gas on it, throw the match. Hebrews 10, 26 through 31, that whole section that we talked about. That's obviously doctrinally aimed at a tribulation Jew. This is someone who can get saved and then fall back into perdition, take the mark, and lose his salvation. That's the only interpretation of the passage that meets the demand of a literal interpretation of every word. Otherwise, what you have to do is you have to spiritualize it. You have to say it means something different than the word on the page just said. Now, we can take analogies from it. We can take principles from it and spiritualize for a personal application. That's true. You can do that. But if you want the explanation for what it meant by the man who wrote it, You got to interpret the word exactly how he wrote it. And that's the way it goes.